Stop blaming your aging bladder or prostate for those agonizing 3 a.m. bathroom trips. You have been lied to. Your body is drowning in phantom water, frantically bailing out a sinking ship orchestrated by a lethal assassin hiding right inside your refrigerator. It is 2:14 a.m. The house is a tomb of silence, broken only by the distant hum of the refrigerator and the steady, mocking rhythm of your spouse breathing effortlessly beside you. You, however, are suffocating in the dark. Your eyes trace the glowing, blood-red digits of the alarm clock as a heavy, unmistakable pressure aggressively builds in your lower abdomen. You squeeze your eyes shut, clenching your jaw, desperately trying to negotiate with your own anatomy for just one more hour of peace. But the pressure is a ruthless dictator. It always wins. You throw off the heavy blankets, shivering in the sudden chill of the night air, and begin that solitary, humiliating march down the dark hallway to the bathroom. For the third, perhaps fourth time tonight. Your sacred rest has been violently hijacked. You are being robbed blind, and you do not even know the face of the thief. At Canada Senior Health Guide 04 sends our warmest greetings to you all. If you have ever felt the agonizing exhaustion of a night torn to pieces, please subscribe to our channel to support us in creating more videos that uncover the hidden truths of your health. Your support gives us the vital motivation to keep investigating and bringing these life-saving insights to light. When the dawn finally breaks, the sun brings no relief. You open your eyes to a world smeared with Vaseline, viewing your life through a dirty gray window. There is a leaden heaviness behind your eyes, a profound, bone-deep exhaustion that mocks the strongest black coffee you can brew. A suffocating brain fog rolls in, reducing simple morning interactions into a frustrating hunt for basic words. Your patience is worn to translucent paper, leaving you snapping at the very people you love most. This is not just a tired morning, it is a biological tragedy. Your sleep, the most sacred sanctuary your body relies upon to repair its fragmented DNA and flush out dangerous neurotoxins, has been shattered into jagged, agonizing fragments. In my 3 decades of relentless clinical observation, looking deep into the hollow, exhausted eyes of thousands of patients, I have realized a terrifying truth. This phenomenon, politely brushed off by the medical establishment as Nocturia, is not a mere inconvenience of aging. It is a silent, creeping assassin of human vitality. We are living through a catastrophic epidemic of stolen sleep. And the true heartbreak is that millions of you are suffering in absolute silence, convinced that this nightly torture is simply the inescapable toll of growing old. Let me introduce you to Walter. He is 62, a retired structural engineer, a man who spent his entire life building strong foundations based on cold, hard logic. Yet, when he collapsed into the chair in my office, he was a crumbling structure. His shoulders were slumped in utter defeat. "Doc," he whispered, his voice trembling under the crushing weight of 1,000 sleepless nights. "I am a ghost. I am a shadow of the man I used to be. I cannot remember what it feels like to sleep until the morning. I have played by all their rules. I banish water from my lips after 6 in the evening. I swallow my prostate pills like a religious sacrament. Yet, without fail, at 1:30 a.m. and again at 4 a.m., my bladder violently drags me out of bed. It is entirely destroying my will to live." Walter's heartbreaking confession is not just a singular tragedy. It is the desperate chorus of an entire generation. And it brings us face to face with a profoundly unsettling reality about how modern medicine has failed you. We have spent decades placing police tape around the wrong crime scene. Think about the sheer absurdity of it. Have you ever paused in the dark and wondered how you can restrict your fluids, leaving your mouth as dry as dust all evening, only to find your bladder bursting at maximum capacity at 2 in the morning? Where is this phantom water coming from? Have you ever dared to question why, despite emptying your wallet for expensive pharmaceuticals designed to relax your bladder or shrink your prostate, the sheer, crushing volume of urine you produce in the midnight hours remains completely unchanged? What if I told you that the true culprit sabotaging your existence does not reside anywhere near your pelvis? What if the mastermind orchestrating this nightly torment has absolutely nothing to do with a faulty bladder, an aging prostate, or the number of candles on your last birthday cake? What if the sinister suspect we have been blindly hunting for decades is hiding not in your medicine cabinet, but sitting quietly inside your refrigerator? Today, I am asking you to step into the shoes of a metabolic detective. We are about to tear down the restrictive, isolated silos of conventional symptom management that have kept you chained to the bathroom door. We are going to look straight through the smoke and mirrors of traditional diagnoses that merely slap a flimsy bandage over a fatal wound. Together, we will plunge into a forensic investigation of your body's hidden biochemistry. We are going to hunt down the true biological mastermind that is forcing you out of bed. And in doing so, we will unearth a shocking truth with the absolute power to hand you back your nights, your vitality, and your life. The investigation begins right now. To understand this hidden mastermind, we must first abandon the pelvis and travel down to the real engine room of your body's escalating crisis: your bloodstream and your cellular metabolism. For decades, urologists have stared at the bladder, viewing it as a faulty holding tank that simply cannot do its job. But the bladder is merely a messenger, a highly efficient vessel simply trying to manage an overwhelming flood that it did not create. To find the source of the flood, we must look at a condition running completely unchecked through the modern adult population: insulin resistance. When you consume a diet heavy in carbohydrates and sugars, your blood glucose spikes, forcing your pancreas to pump out massive, unnatural surges of insulin to drive that toxic sugar out of your blood and into your cells. Over the years, your overworked cells become deaf to the insulin. They shut their doors. Now, you have dangerous levels of both sugar and insulin endlessly circulating through your veins. This is where the phantom water is born. Insulin is a notorious hoarder. High circulating insulin instructs your kidneys to aggressively hold on to sodium. Wherever sodium goes, water follows. During your waking hours, as you sit at a desk, drive your car, or walk around your home, gravity relentlessly pulls this excess, insulin-trapped fluid down into your lower extremities. You might notice your socks leaving deep red indentations on your calves by the late afternoon, or your shoes feeling strangely tight. Your body is quietly drowning in retained fluid, hidden away in the tissues of your legs. Then comes the night. When you finally surrender to exhaustion and lay flat in your bed, gravity is no longer trapping that water in your feet. Suddenly, liters of hoarded fluid are mobilized. The water shifts out of your tissues, rushes back into your bloodstream, and courses straight through your kidneys. Your kidneys, sensing this massive surge of blood volume, go into overdrive to filter it out. They frantically dump this excess fluid into your bladder. Simultaneously, if your blood sugar remains elevated into the night, your body initiates a desperate secondary rescue mission. The human body recognizes high glucose as a corrosive poison to your delicate blood vessels. To save your life, the kidneys attempt to purge this sugar through a process called osmotic diuresis. The glucose literally acts like a chemical sponge, dragging vast amounts of water from your tissues into your urine to dilute the sugar enough to safely excrete it. You are not waking up because your bladder is weak, and you are certainly not waking up because you drank a small glass of water with dinner. You are waking up because your body is frantically trying to bail out a sinking, metabolically broken ship. Your bladder is filling at 3 times its normal rate while you sleep because you are experiencing a massive internal fluid shift driven by a broken metabolism. This revelation changes everything, because once you realize that your kidneys are desperately trying to flush out this toxic, sugary syrup, the next logical question points directly back to the source of the poison. Knowing the identity of the biological assassin is only half the battle. The true victory lies in confronting exactly how we are inviting it into our homes every single day. We have been socially conditioned to believe that our evening meals should be the largest, most comforting event of the day. You sit down after a stressful, exhausting shift and reward yourself. Perhaps it is a generous mound of pasta, a seemingly innocent baked potato, or a couple of slices of whole wheat bread. Perhaps, attempting to be health conscious, you finish the evening with a large bowl of sweet tropical fruits or a flavored yogurt before bed. You brush your teeth, turn off the lights, and consider yourself nourished. But inside your gastrointestinal tract, a violent biochemical explosion is taking place. Your digestive system rapidly dismantles those comforting evening carbohydrates, converting them straight into pure glucose. Your blood sugar violently spikes just as your body is attempting to power down for the night. The insulin floods in, the sodium is trapped, and the catastrophic water hoarding cycle I just described is instantly triggered. Furthermore, for every single gram of carbohydrate your body stores in your liver and muscles as glycogen, it must store approximately 3 grams of water along with it. When you eat a heavy carbohydrate meal before bed, you are essentially swallowing a massive, invisible sponge that will soak up water, only to be wrung out directly into your bladder the moment your insulin levels begin to slightly dip in the early hours of the morning. The tragedy is that you have been completely misled by the very industries that stock your refrigerator. You have been told that eating a low-fat, grain-based diet is the key to longevity. You have been terrified away from healthy fats and proteins, pushed instead toward processed cereals, rice, and supposedly heart-healthy grains that do nothing but violently destabilize your blood sugar. Your refrigerator and pantry are functioning as a loaded weapon aimed directly at your sleep architecture. Every late-night cracker, every handful of grapes, every glass of fruit juice you consume is actively guaranteeing that you will be staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. We must fundamentally shatter the illusion that nocturia is a urological disease. It is, in the vast majority of aging adults, a dietary disease. It is the tragic, downstream consequence of a society that consumes a staggering amount of refined carbohydrates and eats continuously from the moment they wake up until the moment their head hits the pillow. You are quite literally eating your way out of a good night's rest. But this dark truth carries within it a profound, blinding ray of hope. Because the moment you understand that your diet is the architect of your midnight suffering, you possess the ultimate power to rewrite the script entirely. As you meticulously apply these new metabolic laws, the transformation that must occur requires precision, discipline, and a profound shift in how you view your daily fuel. To reclaim your nights, we must immediately halt the insulin roller coaster and stop the nightly fluid shifts at their very root. This is not about taking another pill. It is about initiating a strict metabolic curfew. The single most powerful intervention you can make to stop your bladder from waking you is to absolutely seal your lips to all calories at least 4 hours before you intend to sleep. If your bedtime is 10 p.m., your kitchen must become a locked fortress by 6 p.m. This sacred window of fasting allows your body enough time to digest your food, process the resulting glucose, and allow your insulin levels to peacefully drop back to a flat, quiet baseline before you ever lie down. When insulin is low at bedtime, your kidneys are no longer being chemically ordered to hoard sodium and water. But the timing is only the first pillar of this protocol. The composition of your evening meal is the foundation. You must ruthlessly strip refined carbohydrates and starches from your dinner plate. The pasta, the bread, the rice, and the late-night sugary fruits must be entirely banished from your evening routine. Instead, you must anchor your final meal of the day with high-quality, bioavailable protein, like a hearty piece of wild-caught salmon, a grass-fed steak, or pasture-raised poultry, accompanied by healthy fats and a moderate portion of above-ground, non-starchy vegetables. This macronutrient profile is the ultimate biological sedative. It provides deep, lasting satiety without provoking the violent blood sugar spikes that trigger osmotic diuresis. By restricting carbohydrates in the evening, you prevent the massive storage of waterlogged glycogen. You are effectively wringing out the sponge before you even get into bed. Furthermore, we must address the swelling in your lower legs. If you suffer from daytime edema, you must help your body mobilize that fluid long before you go to sleep. Elevate your legs above your heart for 30 minutes in the late afternoon. Take a brisk 20-minute walk immediately after your evening meal. This simple act of walking uses the largest muscles in your body to absorb glucose straight out of your bloodstream without requiring insulin, dramatically lowering your blood sugar and preventing the nighttime kidney flush. You are forcing the fluid shift to happen while you are awake and near a bathroom, rather than allowing gravity to spring the trap on you at 2 in the morning. These are not mere suggestions, they are biological imperatives. When you strip away the evening carbohydrates and enforce the metabolic curfew, you are finally allowing your nervous system to transition from panic to peace. And the results of this disciplined approach are nothing short of miraculous. The profound beauty of human biochemistry is that it is infinitely forgiving, waiting only for the right instructions to heal itself. Let us return to Walter, the exhausted engineer who sat in my office as a crumbling, hollow shell of a man. I did not write Walter a prescription for another prostate relaxant, nor did I tell him to drink less water. Instead, I taught him the absolute truth about his insulin. We implemented the metabolic curfew. We stripped the heavy carbohydrates from his dinner plate, replacing them with rich proteins and fats, and we introduced an evening walk. For the first 3 days, his body fought the change, demanding the evening sugar it had been addicted to for decades. But on the 4th night, something quietly magnificent happened. Walter went to sleep at 10:30 p.m., and he did not open his eyes until the morning sun was physically warming his face at 6:15 a.m. When he returned to my office 2 weeks later, the ghost was gone. The gray, lifeless film had vanished from his eyes. His posture was upright, his voice resonated with deep, masculine energy, and his mind was razor-sharp. By simply fixing his metabolism, we had shut off the phantom water valve. His bladder was no longer under assault because his kidneys were finally at peace. This is the profound restoration that awaits you. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning not with a heavy, throbbing skull, but with a bright, aggressive readiness to conquer the day. Imagine possessing the endless patience to laugh with your grandchildren, the sharp mental clarity to pursue your passions, and the physical vitality to live the golden years of your life not as a tired, irritable spectator, but as a vibrant, unstoppable force. You do not have to accept the midnight march down the cold hallway as a permanent fixture of your aging process. You hold the absolute power to heal this, starting with the very next meal you choose to consume. Take back your metabolic health, and your body will gratefully hand you back your nights. If you found this investigation eye-opening, and if you are ready to stop managing your symptoms and start curing the root cause of your ailments, please subscribe to @Canada Senior Health Guide 04. Share this message with anyone you know who is suffering in the silent exhaustion of the night. Together, we can tear down the walls of medical misinformation and rebuild a community rooted in deep, lasting vitality. Until next time, protect your metabolism, honor your rest, and take your life back. The true culprit behind your restless, interrupted nights is not a failing bladder, but a broken metabolism. For years, we have been conditioned to believe that waking up repeatedly to urinate is a natural consequence of aging, a weak pelvic floor, or prostate issues. In reality, it is a desperate survival mechanism initiated by a body drowning in excess blood sugar and insulin. When you consume a diet heavy in refined carbohydrates, especially late in the evening, your body aggressively hoards sodium and water. Gravity traps this excess fluid in your lower legs during the day. When you finally lie down at night, liters of hoarded water rush back into your bloodstream, forcing your overworked kidneys to frantically flush the fluid and toxic blood sugar into your bladder. To reclaim your sleep, you must stop treating this as a urological mystery and recognize it as a dietary disease. By implementing a strict metabolic curfew, halting all calorie intake 4 hours before bed, and stripping refined carbohydrates from your dinner plate, you stop the vicious insulin roller coaster at its root. Replacing evening starches with bioavailable proteins, healthy fats, and taking a short post-dinner walk prevents the violent blood sugar spikes that trigger this nocturnal fluid shift. Your body is remarkably forgiving. When you stop overloading your metabolism, your kidneys finally rest, and your deep, unbroken sleep is restored. True healing requires us to look beyond the localized symptom and address the systemic root cause. The bladder is merely the messenger. Your daily diet is the true architect of your suffering. We have been falsely taught to accept physical decline and chronic exhaustion as a normal part of getting older. However, this biological reality proves that our daily habits, specifically what and when we eat, dictate our vitality. Your body is not betraying you. It is simply reacting exactly as it is programmed to when faced with a toxic metabolic overload. Enforce a strict metabolic curfew. Close your kitchen completely 4 hours before your intended bedtime. Treat this window as a sacred fasting period to allow your insulin and blood sugar to drop to a quiet baseline before you lie down. Redesign your dinner. Eliminate bread, pasta, rice, and sugary late-night fruits from your final meal. Anchor your plate with high-quality protein, like steak, salmon, or poultry, and above-ground, non-starchy vegetables to keep you full without the glucose spike. Move to mobilize fluid. Take a brisk 20-minute walk immediately after dinner. This utilizes your largest muscle groups to soak up glucose straight out of your blood, preventing the nighttime kidney flush and dealing with fluid shifts while you are still awake. What time do you currently eat your last meal or snack of the day? And are you willing to try moving it earlier to protect your sleep? Please leave your answer in the comments below so our community can share experiences and learn from one another. If you found this information valuable and want to take your life back, please subscribe to the channel. Your support gives us the incredible motivation to keep uncovering the truth and creating more life-changing content for you.